This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
The views expressed by guests on this program do not necessarily represent the views of the host or owners of the Doggy Diva show and do not necessarily constitute endorsement of products. Medical information discussed by guests on this program are those of the guests and is only for informational purposes and should not replace medical advice by your local veterinarian professional.
Hi, this is Susan Marie from the Doggy Diva show. This week, knowing why your dog is coughing, keeping your pets fit, and a carryall for hands-free walking with your dogs. That's what's on our show this week. Let's get started.
Hey, did you hear that? What is that? It's the bark heard round the world. The Doggy Diva show. Here's national award-winning author and animal advocate, Susan Marie.
Hi, welcome to the Doggy Diva show, the show for animal lovers. I'm your host, Susan Marie, and as always, I'm joined by my canine co-hosts, the Doggy Divas themselves, Francesca, Coco, and our newest little diva, Miss Olive. Miss Olive is the cute little Italian Greyhound rescue in the picture with the microphone. Thank you for joining us today as we bring the experts in the pet and animal world right to you. Contact us at thedoggydiva.com. That's the DOGGYDIVA.com. We love hearing from you. So go grab a cup of coffee and your pet's favorite treat, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Pets are part of the family. Make sure you can always afford the quality health care they need with Easy Pet Check, a nationwide pet insurance alternative. With Easy Pet Check, you'll save up to 75% on all your pet's health care at any licensed veterinarian in the U.S. Easy Pet Check accepts all dogs and cats regardless of pre-existing conditions. Visit EasyPetCheck.com. That's the letters EasyPetCheck.com. Taking care of your pet can be easy with Easy Pet Check.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Doggy Diva Show. I'm here with Monica Leighton, president of Professional Pet, sitting with our pet tip of the week. And Monica, sometimes I say, I wonder what is going on because a couple of my dogs have these coughs, and sometimes they're just normal coughs, and sometimes they concern me a little, and I have to take them in. What is the reason why my dogs are coughing?
Yeah, so we get this all the time in the office. So one of the number one appointments you'll see is, my dog is coughing, and I don't know why.
That was me.
So many, yes, there's a lot of different reasons that dogs can cough, but I thought I would kind of go over different things that can cause coughing. So that way you always have kind of a little bit of information and things to look for at home, and then definitely what to look for as far as other symptoms so your veterinarian can help diagnose your pet correctly. So, of course, number one, when you hear your pet coughing, you want to check and make sure there's no kind of choking hazards. Was he just eating chew or something of that, or was he just eating his food super fast? Anything that can cause a choking hazard, you always want to make sure that isn't the case, number one. Number two, an infectious cough. So there's two main reasons besides a choking hazard that your pet can cough. And you'll have an infectious nature or something that's called a reverse sneeze. And the reverse sneeze sounds a lot like a cough, and that's usually driven by an allergic component. So 9 out of 10 times, if your pet is coughing, it's either infectious or allergic. So let's talk about infectious first. There's a couple things that can cause a dog to cough as far as infectious issues. So a viral respiratory infection, things like parrot influenza and kennel cough. These are things that, your pets are normally vaccinated for, but it is a possibility that they can get those. The most common symptoms of these viral infections can include coughing, of course, but it can also include the dog being lethargic. The dog could have a decreased appetite, so not eating as well, exercise intolerance and increased breathing. So they're not able to exercise like they used to. They're kind of slowing down a little bit. They're breathing heavier than normal. Those can all be signs that the cough is an infectious nature. Also, things like canine influenza. In the last 5-6 years, it's become a lot more prevalent. So definitely, showing caution for any coughs that come into play. And if you see anything like a decreased appetite or lethargy or, a heavier breathing pattern, definitely get your pet to your veterinarian and make sure that you rule out anything infectious as far as the cough is concerned. So the most common reason for pet coughing that we see a lot, and especially right now, because those of us in Florida that suffer from allergies know that it is that time of the year, and it is crazy, like whether it's oak or pollens or grasses, and there's just so many different allergens out there. And of course, all of those allergens can be felt by your pets at all. So what is known as reverse sneezing can also sound like a cough, and it can be very alarming for pet parents to see their pet do. So reverse sneezing is very common in pets, and it's usually not a huge concern, but you always want to rule out that it is a reverse sneeze and not something like an influenza or a viral infection. So you always want to seek assistance from your veterinarian just to find out what the exact cause of your cough is. But for dogs that are experiencing the reverse sneeze, sometimes the dog will pull its head back and inhale forcefully through the nose and the mouth, and then it makes a cough-like sound. And usually the reverse sneezing comes from an allergic type component. One thing that you can do is when your pet gets into that kind of reverse sneeze little hack thing going on, if you gently tilt their head up and put your finger over one nostril, that can oftentimes help them clear their airway, and that will subside that cough attack. And, kind of that reverse sneeze attack should start subsiding. You can also, kind of rub the throat a little bit, but that does not, always clear it. But definitely talk to your veterinarian, because there's obviously something in the environment that can contribute to causing that reverse sneeze. Allergic natures, mostly pollen is the main source that we see. But again, like I said, you can have oaks and grasses and things of that nature that are on the pollen charts. I always tell people, if your pet is diagnosed with any kind of pollen or allergic component, watch your daily news at night, like when they do the weather segments and things like that nature, because so many clients can relate it to their instances where all of a sudden their pet is starting to do that reverse sneeze more, or it's increasing, and it's oftentimes increasing when they have those pollen counts that are racing. And that's something that they'll tell you in your area on the news. They'll give you your pollen index. I believe you can also get that on weather.com online. But you can get those pollen indexes and see exactly really what's on the high end of blooming in your area right at that time. And you can, kind of help pinpoint what your pet may be having an issue with.
Well, that's big help, because mine was the reverse sneeze, and it was because of allergies. So yes, but you know what, Monica? It does sound scary whenever your dog's coughing or doing something that isn't normal, which isn't what they normally do. It always gets people confused, and such as myself, with reverse sneeze. But it's the first thing that people should do is call their vet. I mean, either they need to come in, or it's something as simple as you said that maybe we could just take care of it ourselves. But since there's so many different things that could be affected by a cough, or the reasons for a cough, or the root cause, that's why it's really important that you contact your vet just to make sure.
Absolutely.
Well, as always, you bring us great information, and this is the season. It's pollen season's high, and also there's all kinds of things blowing around in the air. You don't know what your dogs are going to catch, so please stay on top of it. If your dog is coughing, Monica, you gave us some great reasons to be on top of it and to be aware of it. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a great week.
Hello, everyone. Susan Marie and Miss Olive here to announce the release of the second book in the Doggy Diva Diaries series, Miss Olive Finds Her Forever Friends, a story about Miss Olive's encounters with bullying at a dog park and how she learns a life lesson. Please check out the original award-winning book, Miss Olive Finds Her Forever Home, which is a story about adoption and rescue. Both books are available at Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com, and please visit thedoggydiva.com for more information. Thank you, everyone. Coming up, after months at home, has your pet put on some pandemic pounds? That's next.
Molly, here's your dinner. Zeus, that's not your food.
Don't let that happen to your precious cat. Elevate your cat's eating experience with the Cat Tree Tray. The Cat Tree Tray keeps your cat's food off the floor and conveniently located on the cat tree. It's the perfect way to eat. It's a beautiful wrought iron tray that easily attaches to your cat tree and keeps dogs and other critters out of your cat's dish. A must for multi-pet households. There's a 6-inch tray for large bowls and a 4-inch tray for smaller bowls. Purchase your Cat Tree Tray today. Go right now to cattreetray.com. That's cattreetray.com. CATTREETRAY.com.
Let's talk pets
Let's talk pets
on Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Doggy Diva Show. As a pet parent, I find that it's really important that our pets are healthy and fit, and it really helps them to live a longer and happier life, living their best life ever. And especially during these times, since we as pet parents and our pets maybe have added a few pandemic pounds. So with us today to share some really helpful information on fitness and health for our pups, especially during this time, is Kim Gaebelein, Chief Marketing Officer at Bil-Jac Foods. Hey, Kim, welcome.
Hi, Sue. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, it's good to have you on to talk about this, Kim, because I think that we're all starting to get out and about a little more, and we are looking, we're putting our jeans on and going, whoa, wait a minute. And then try to put our harness around our pups going, whoa, wait a minute. I think that everyone's sort of put on a little bit of weight along with these months that we're staying inside. So what can you just sort of go through the importance of not only us staying fit, but also our pets and what we can do to kind of get them a little healthier and a little bit more of a fit state?
Yes, of course, because I agree with you. I'm definitely hearing a lot more from pet parents, not just about them, but about their dogs, right? And their cats gaining some extra weight,
Yes.
right? So I think it's really important to get this in check. And so, I know that I work with a food company, and that's really good, but you need to feed responsibly, right? It's really important to kind of think about this. And so, I know that the Association for Pet Obesity Prevention does a yearly survey, and they're kind of tracking how obese pets are. And so the last survey they did, so the pets were 56% of dogs were overweight or obese in the U.S. So more than half, and that's not good, and that's not good for a bunch of reasons. Being overweight is really hard on a dog's system, right? It's hard on their heart. It's hard in terms of their pancreas, right? So in terms of, potentially causing diabetes, it's hard on their joints. That's really important. I know you're really careful, because I know that, Miss Olive needs to keep her weight healthy so that she doesn't put a lot of extra weight on her joints. So it's really important. So there's a lot of health implications other than just, being fat and happy, right? That's just not really true. And so it's really important to kind of get control of that. So, and I think, part of what's happening, and I'm hearing a lot more about, people are maybe mixing in some wet food nowadays, making food a little more special. They have maybe a little bit more time because they might have been at home, working as opposed to being at the office. I'm also hearing that people are maybe giving more treats. Yeah. So, so some of those things are also things that, you need to think about, right? You can't add without subtracting. So you can't add without subtracting. That makes a lot of sense. So, there's only so many calories that your dog needs a day. So you want to think about, if I am going to add some wet food, you might want to take out some of the dry food and be able to kind of not feed that much altogether. And so that's really important. Or, you want to make sure that you're getting out and, getting some activity in there. And I know a lot of times people think, maybe you have a Pomeranian and your Pomeranian is maybe 10 pounds. Well, Pomeranians are probably typically, right, again, if it's not a mix, are about under 7 pounds. So if that dog is 10 pounds, it's probably overweight. Again, I always talk about the rib test. Feel those ribs. Reach down, have your dog stand up, reach down, feel those ribs. Can you feel them without a lot of fat being there? Can you feel them at all?
Yeah.
So that's really important. If you can't feel them very well, or if you're feeling a lot of fat in between, then that's a sign that you're probably in a place that you don't want to be at, right? You're probably at that 10-pound level of Pomeranian instead of that 7-pound level. So it's really important to be able to think about thinking about that weight and about that extra pounds, and trying not to give them those extra goodies without taking away some of those other calories, and kind of managing their overall calorie level.
That's like really important. And I think sometimes you don't think of that, especially because we're home, Kim, and you're right. We may be going on a Zoom call and we want our dogs to like kind of be a little quieter. So we give them some treats and they go into their, wherever they're going, and they kind of hang out. And I think that that's kind of become a way of life with people. We're working a lot from home. And as people ease back and go back into their offices, things may change. But I find that myself, I do a lot of that. I have 3 of them, so I will give them. But I love the little Bil-Jac treats, the little bitty Little Jacks, because there's not a lot of calories in them. And you're right, I have to keep all of her weight has to stay totally the same because she's got the 3 legs and she can't be jumping around. And that's why it's really important, like you also said, to keep their joints and everything. It puts a pressure on them if they're overweight. So what are some things that we as dog parents can do to, let's just say they got a little out of shape, to get them in shape and keep them in shape?
Yeah. So, I think that one of the things to think about is, how much activity are you getting these days? It's starting to get warmer. The weather's starting to get nicer, hopefully, around the country. So now, now's a great time to be able to get out and get walking. And again, 10, 15 minutes at a time. You don't have to walk a mile or 3 miles to make it work, right? It's just getting out a couple times a day to get that 10, 15 minutes of walk in. You could walk in the backyard. You could walk down the street. You could go to the dog park. I mean, there's lots of different ways to kind of get some of that activity in there. And it doesn't always have to be walking. It could be things like playing. I know that when Blizzard gets on a streak, right, he might want me to throw the toy like 10 times. And, hey, and there you go. You're getting the heart rate up. There's a lot of excitement. He's running around, so you want to kind of look for ways that you can do that, either walking or running or playing, just playing in the house even can do that if you're doing that on a consistent basis. And, and you can have fun with it. We talk a little bit about creating obstacles, right? So, make an obstacle. It could be that you could go to the dollar store and get a pool noodle and a boogie board. They're not very expensive. Cut that pool noodle in half, glue it or tape it to the bottom of that boogie board, and all of a sudden you have a little teeter-totter kind of for your dog to kind
so
of
cool.
go up and down on or whatever. Put some pillows across the family room, floor. And then, make those something kind of fun to jump on. So when you throw the ball, you might throw them over the pillows on the other side of that. And then, have them come back and jump over that. Or, maybe give them a treat when they get over those pillows, right, without touching them. So, I mean, you can make it fun and light to be able to kind of do some activities to get them into shape. That's really important to do. And so, so there's some different ways to be able to have some fun. And, I think the other thing that exercise does, not just for us, but for dogs, is it helps our dogs produce endorphins, right? Those kind of those feel good, chemicals in our body. And so, getting them out there to do that. I mean, that's why they get so excited. I don't know about the girls, but Blizzard, if I just go walk, he's over the moon.
Sometimes I don't even have to say it. Like if I just get up to go towards where the leashes, we have him in a like a mud room. But if I even have to just walk to it, they know.
Yes.
It's like they have this kind of like a little doggy intuition going, yeah, we're going out.
Yeah, and they get excited because they remember those endorphins, right? They remember how happy it makes them, and they get to smell and sniff because there's also mental benefits to being out and walking with your dog and having them sniff around and find out what's going on in the neighborhood and down that path and what have you. So those are the things that really can make a difference and can kind of help your dog get into shape. in terms of a fitness perspective.
Those are great ideas. And especially now that the weather is getting better, people are starting to get out more just because we've been in for such a long time. I think people are really looking forward to getting out more and interacting and doing a lot with their animals. When you get up to walk your dog is like a reason for you to get out and walk yourself. That's how I look at it. I get my exercise. Like people go, oh, what do? Do you exercise? I go, well, I just really walk my dogs. But it gives me a reason to go out and I walk at the same time.
Yes.
So it's like both of us are kind of getting in shape. So
yeah, it's such a win-win, right? It's such a win-win.
And a good bonding experience.
Yes. And, and even walking can make such a big difference. So you don't have to be running. You don't have to be doing, all kinds of crazy exercising to do it. You just need to be constantly walking, right? Regularly walking. And that can really, really be a good thing for both of you.
With Bil-Jac, you guys have so many different kinds of foods and treats. And as I just mentioned, I love Little Jacks. That really helps me keep focus with my girls. And also it's a reward. It's kind of like they love it. And I have 2 of them that are deaf and almost totally blind, but they can sniff that. And they know where it is. They know when I'm pulling it out of my bag. I have it with me here in the studio. I have like little Ziploc bags I put them in. There's so much that you guys have. You have all different kinds of treats and all different kinds of foods. And I have a finicky one. So I use one of your foods for Francesca. And it's just something that I think people don't know, all the different foods that you have there at Bil-Jac.
Well, especially if you're thinking about, your dog being overweight, right? You're thinking about, well, what kinds of food could help me? There are foods for that. And so, a couple things to think about are, first of all, what are the feeding guidelines on the bag of food that you're feeding, right? Those guidelines are a good starting point for where you should start feeding at, but you may need to adjust that amount up or down depending on your dog's activity level. So, you want to think about those feeding guidelines and make sure you're measuring your food on a regular basis, right? And that you're not adding without subtracting, like we talked about earlier. That's really important. And then, we have a 30% less fat formula called our reduced fat formula, which is great if you're trying to manage those pounds, right? Whether you're trying to maintain those pounds or you're trying to look for ways to be able to take some of them off. That's a really key thing to do, right? And it's got 30% less fat than our adult formula. So that really kind of helps in managing that weight change. And you're going to want to work your way down to the feeding guidelines that you're targeting, right? So if you have a 60-pound lab and you really should have a 50-pound lab, then you're going to want to look at those feeding guidelines and you're going to start working your way down slowly to those 50-pound guidelines. And so that's the best way to be able to kind of slowly and gradually be able to help your dog manage those extra pandemic pounds, right? So those are things to think about. And there's also, if you don't need that kind of support, right? If your dog is healthy and doing great, there are lots of different options, right? If you have a small breed dog or a large breed dog, we have a variety of formulas for those. We have Picky No More for picky dogs. And we also have a sensitive solutions formula that is fantastic if you have a sensitive dog, maybe digestive wise, they're sensitive or their skin sensitive. It's sometimes helpful to change up their food and give them a food that has some support for healthy skin and get that kind of extra shine that you're looking for, looking for that healthy kind of look. That's also very helpful. And then, especially if you have a dog that has a very touchy stomach, sometimes having a food that is gentle, has gentle fibers to be able to support that healthy digestion, it can be really helpful and can really make a big difference in how they're feeling and how they're looking.
Well, and another thing that I supplement with every day is your probiotics because they're so easy to administer. And I think that that's really important. For you and I have talked about this before. It's so important to kind of support our pets' digestive health.
Yeah. And, we have Bil-Jac breakthrough biotics, and they are really fantastic. They're easy to use spray, doesn't need to be refrigerated. It provides 12 different strains of probiotics, and having a broad spectrum, right, of probiotics, a wide range of probiotics can be helpful because different probiotics do different things in the gut, in the small intestine and large intestine. So that can be very helpful. And using probiotics can help support that healthy digestion and also helps with immune function, right? Because about, somewhere around 70% of the dog's immune function really starts in the gut, which is not something you think about. But the more and more we all learn about what happens in our bodies and in dogs' bodies, we're finding out more and more about that connection between the brain and the gut, and how that immune system is in there to be able to help support your dog's health.
Now, for the listeners out there, because there is such a large selection and you have so much information that you have on your website, where can the listeners go to learn more about Bil-Jac?
Yeah, I always say start with our website at biljac.com. It's bil-jac.com. And we have a lot of great information out there. You can join our Best Friends Club. It's our monthly email newsletter. And we've got special offers in there and savings that you can request. We've got 3 or 4 stories every month that we talk about. It's always kind of fun to plan our stories every month because we get to learn too. We're like, oh, we're curious about this. What about that? So we're able to kind of do some of those stories. And so we've got those all go out into our dog blog, and you can get some more information out there. You can just type in our search bar, what you might be looking for, what information you might be looking for. And then, you'll be able to get a story about, where should my dog sleep at night? Or, choosing the best dry dog food for a picky eater, or how to deal with dog hair everywhere. So we really try to cover a bunch of different things. And we've also got a great section for training videos where we work with Joel Silverman, who's a fantastic longtime dog trainer. I've known Joel for 20 years, fantastic guy. And he really kind of breaks it down, makes it easy in a couple of minutes to give you a few tips to be able to get you started in training your dog, especially on all of the key.
I call it like bite-sized training because it's just enough. Yes. It's not a long thing, and he gets it really quick, and it's just the real basics. And I think everyone who's a pet parent should have basics that their dogs can be trained, especially like we're talking about having them outside, doing things with them.
Yes.
Interacting with other pets or interacting with people. Those basic training videos that Joel has are totally invaluable. I mean, they're remarkable.
Yeah, nice and easy and fun and light. And like I said, easy to give you steps to be able to follow, to be able to do it by yourself, right? Yes. For 5 or 10 minutes, nothing heavy. You don't have to do a long amount of training, but he does give you some really great tips in a really quick, easy to chew video.
We like that.
Yes.
So, Kim, we thank you so much for being our guest today and for sharing helpful information and the importance of fitness and health for our pups. We want to keep them in shape. And as we talked about, we're coming out of the time where we're all been in maybe a little more, and we've all eaten a little more, including our pups. So this is great advice, great information. And again, everyone, please go to bil-jac.com, and you're going to get a lot of information on this, what we talked about today, the great foods, the great treats, and the training information. I mean, there's a lot out there. The weather's getting good. We're all going to be out there. And thank you, Kim. Thanks so much for being our guest.
Thank you so much for having me. And now's the time, right? Don't wait. Now's the time to start working on those pandemic pounds. So good luck.
Absolutely. Thanks so much. We'll be back in just a minute. Coming up, something you need to do while walking your pet just got a lot easier. Stay with us.
Take a bite out of your competition. Advertise your business with an ad in Pet Life Radio podcasts and radio shows. There's no other pet-related media that is as large and reaches more pet parents and pet lovers than Pet Life Radio. With over 7 million monthly listeners, Pet Life Radio podcasts are available on all major podcast platforms. And our live radio stream goes out to over 250 million subscribers on iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Stitcher, and other streaming apps. For more information on how you can advertise on the #1 pet podcast and radio network, visit PetLifeRadio.com/advertise today.
Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Doggy Diva Show. As a pet parent, I love walking my dogs, but carrying their wasteful bags kind of sometimes doesn't make it really enjoyable. But we have a solution to that problem. WoofPack Dog Walking Accessory Bag is the go-to carryall for dog lovers on the go everywhere. It's perfect for all of your adventures with your pup. Just Being with the WoofPack is both invaluable and fashionable. So it kind of takes the smell out of carrying those stinky dog waste bags with you. So with us today to tell us all about the possum must-have is the founder of WoofPack Trails, Lisa Bast. Welcome, Lisa, to the Doggy Diva Show.
Thank you for having me, Susan. It's great to be here today.
I have to tell you, what a great product you have. Now, can you just tell us about WoofPack Trails and what was your inspiration for creating it?
My inspiration was it spurred for a lot of things. I'm on the go constantly with my golden doodle. He's very energetic, and I found that I was always running around prior to our walks, trying to fit everything in my pockets, like tissue and my keys, my cell phone, bags, and it was just really hard to get everything in your pockets. And walking him, oftentimes I never had enough bags. And so I remember one day distinctly, he did his business in somebody's neighborhood yard. So I hurried home, got in the car, drove up there with an extra bag, grabbed the poop, put it in my back of my car, and drove home with it until I could dispose of it. It stunk so bad. It was in the middle of summer. And I was like, you know what? I need something that's a carryall that takes, that carries the bag waste and carries everything else I take when I'm on the go with Micah, my golden doodle. And really out in the market, there was just, either a bag that carried your personal stuff and treats or just the doggy waste itself, but nothing else. So I wanted something more efficient. So after about 7 prototypes, I came up with the design I have now on the WoofPack. And the inner line, there's a big inner pocket that has a special antimicrobial material that's used on hospital gurneys. And what it does is it tampers, microbes, bacteria, so you don't smell any, because the smell from the poop comes from the bacteria in it. So what it does is it kind of tampers that smell. So when it's in there, you don't smell it when you're walking with your dog, which is really a great thing for me because I'm telling you, some of my earlier prototypes, as I tried them out, and I would take the bagged poop out of it, and I'd be like, oh, yuck. The smell would come up in my face. So I said, there's got to be a solution. There's got to be something out there on the market, some material that's going to take away that smell while it's in the bag and when I take it out of the bag. And there's no residual smell. And so I did a lot of research on it, and I came up with this material. I found this material from a nearby distributor. So it's been great in, kind of tampering that odor when it's in the bag and you don't smell it. It's not pungent when you take the waste bag out of the WoofPack.
I know it's great. It's convenient. It's a place to put your dog poop, and it's great for hands-free walking because those of us that walk our dogs know that our other hand is holding the dog poop. So, how big is it, and how can it be worn? Like, what's the size of it? For people trying to visualize this, what's the size of it, and how can it be worn on the body?
Okay, well, it's 9 inches by 9 inches. It has the inner pocket where you put the doggy waste, but it also has 2 roomy pockets in the front of the bag and 1 roomy pocket in the back. So you can put everything, that you take when you go on the go with your pet. And it can be worn 4 different ways. It can be worn crossbody, which most people like to do. I personally wear it as a fanny pack. I wear it around my waist. The strap is adjustable. You can wear it over your shoulder if you like, or you can take that strap off entirely. You can attach it to a backpack. You can attach it to your belt loop. You can attach it to a large dog's harness if you don't want to carry it that way. So those are the 4 different ways that you can carry it. It comes in 5 color combinations. And then I just rolled out about 6 months ago 2 embroidered designs. One is a dog mom design, and the other is like a heart with a paw print on it design.
Oh, how cute. And just so that people know the way that you've described how we can all carry it, this could be something that is unisex. Both a man, both a woman could do it because men can put it on their belts. They could wear it as a fanny pack because women, of course, can wear it as a crossbody or however if they want to wear it as a fanny pack themselves. But I think it's great because you're free to go about your business. You're not swinging that bag full of dog waste, and it's great for everyone, actually. You mentioned the material. What about the material that the outside of the bag's made from. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? And also, how do we clean and care for this bag?
Absolutely. The material is like a 600 denier polyester material, so it's like a canvasy type material. It's very durable. It is water resistant. It's lightweight, and it doesn't need, you don't need to throw it in the wash machine. Actually, you just take a warm fuzzy cloth and wipe it that way. So it's really easy to care for. And because it's so durable, and it's made to be outdoors and made to be durable in all types of weather, it's going to last a long time with regular use.
And you mentioned this earlier, and I'm trying to visualize it. I love to take, when I go out for my walks, I take my keys, I take my cell phone, I take Kleenex, I take treats, and I like to put them, and they're usually stuck in pockets all over, whether it be in my sweatshirt and my jeans or something. But can all of this, how does this all fit in and not be affected by the bag of dog waste?
Because the pockets that you put all your personal items and your doggy treats are separate from the compartment where you stick your doggy waste. That's in the middle of the bag, and it's closed with a secure Velcro, so you're not going to smell the bag waste when it's in there. And then your other pockets are on the side of the bag. So there's two big pockets in the front of the bag, and then there's a big pocket in the back of the bag. So they're separate. It will never touch the poopy bag inside.
That's awesome. And I'm sure the listeners are trying to figure out, well, what does it look like? And it's very clear on your website what it looks like. So if anyone's trying to think in their mind, this is great to buy for yourself. It's also a great gift idea because of the way you've expanded the way it looked. Like I said, it can be used as a purse. It could be used as just a regular container holder, but it's something that that people should keep in mind for gift giving and for just for yourself. But where can the listeners go to learn more about WoofPack Trails and where they can purchase it?
Sure. They can purchase it at WoofPackTrails.com, and that's WOOF, like Wolf, Pack, PACK, Trails, TRAILS.com. And yes, it is a great gift. In fact, I'd say about 25% of the people that buy it for gifts for men and women.
That's perfect. I have someone with a birthday coming up. I'm thinking that I'll give it to them for their birthday because she, such as myself, spends most of our time outside with our dogs. It may not be something that you think of giving yourself, but when people see you with it on, they're going to go, where did you get that? What is that? So I think it's like really ingenious what you did. It's really great, convenient. And again, hands-free walking is so important, especially when you have multiple dogs. Oh, that's what I wanted to ask you. If you have multiple dogs, how many bags can it carry?
I think it can comfortably fit, 2 to 3 sealed bags inside. And a lot of people have multiple dogs that carry it.
Yeah.
If you have really large dogs, like I think I had a customer that had 3 St. Bernards, and it was like, and they're like, oh my God, it fits all the bags in there, but then I don't have room for my other stuff. And I was like, well, you know what, that's a lot, because they were saying, they poop a couple times. I was just thinking, wow, that's unusual. But it is very roomy inside, and many of my customers, and you can go online and look at all the reviews that people have left about it, and many of them do have multiple dogs, and they're able to put, a couple bags in there, 2 to 3 bags in there comfortably, and still fit, their personal items in the pockets that are on the side.
Now, and I think once they go and find you online, they're going to see it's like a perfect size. It's big enough. The inside's big enough to put the waste in. There's areas for your keys. And also it's convenient enough so that you're walking and it's like either wearing it as a crossbody, wearing it on your belt, wearing it as a fanny pack. It's not overwhelming. Like you said, it's 9 by 9 inches. So it's just big enough so that you could walk comfortably with your pets and also be comfortable yourself. So now, Lisa, before we go, is there anything that you'd like to share with our listeners?
Well, I think that I think what I do want to emphasize is that this is a versatile bag. My customers say they take it everywhere they go. They take it to doggy shows. They take it on walks and hikes. They take it around the neighborhood. They take it to doggy park. A lot of them will take it to the vet's office because they have medication that they leave with and they don't want to carry a big handbag. So I do want to emphasize the versatility of it. it can be taken just about anywhere. And some of my customers, they use it as a purse too. So, it's a very versatile bag. It's a very convenient, attractive bag for, walking with your pet, and it carries everything in one place. I really do, have gotten some great feedback from my customers. And I do want to say that a lot of my customers come from Florida. I don't know what it is about Floridians, but they seem to really like this bag.
Oh, that's great. Well, you know why? We have the great weather down here. So I think that probably, as with most of my friends, we're always out walking our dogs. We're always out with our dogs. Now that COVID's kind of going down a little bit, we're going to dog parks. We're doing things a little more than we used to. So this is the perfect bag for it. I mean, it's the perfect bag to have, like I said, whether you're male or whether you're female. It's a perfect bag to have just for convenience sake for your own personal items as well as your dog waste items. So I think that that's great.
It is. And you know what? When you carry the WoofPack, you never, ever have to be burdened with carrying doggy waste again. And you have a hands-free dog walking experience. There's actually a woman that I'd say every 3 months she orders about, 10 or 15 of them. And it was kind of funny. I thought, well, she's probably reselling them or something. And one day she wrote me a note. She was like, you're probably wondering what I'm doing with all these, but all my friends just love this bag. I've sent some to Europe. Some of my friends in Europe are wearing it. I've been shipping actually to Canada quite a bit recently. So, the word is getting out about the bag, and I'm really thrilled because the reason I invented it is that I really, really wanted dog lovers to have a more enjoyable on-the-go experience with their pets. So that was really the inspiration behind it.
Well, and it's great, and we're heard worldwide. If you ship to these different places, I think it's great because there's people all over that listen to the show. I think that it's a great thing to know that you do ship. So this is great.
Yes, I've shipped to Canada quite a bit, and I've shipped to the UK a couple times as well. So.
Perfect. So those of you out there, and we have people in Canada, we have people in the UK that listen to us. So just know that you could get your bag, you could get your WoofPack. So Lisa, I want to thank you so much for being our guest today and for sharing WoofPack Trails with our listeners and for creating a convenient, stylish, and hands-free way to walk our pups and help make that walking experience with our pups all the more enjoyable. So I thank you so much. Thank you for being our guest. And everyone, please go to www.WoofPackTrails, WoofPackTrails.com, and you'll see what we're talking about. And you can't wait to order yours.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate you having me on today. And yes, I did want to emphasize the WOF because a lot of people think it's Wolf, WOLF,
yes.
which makes it hard to find sometimes. So thank you so much, Susan. I appreciate you having me on your show. And I certainly hope that your listeners go and take a look at the website and see what they think.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And thank you for being our guest, Lisa. And everybody, again, it's WoofPackTrails.com. You're not going to want to miss it. So thank you very much. Have a great day.
Thanks, Susan. You too.
Okay, so
bye-bye.
We would like to thank our guests this week. And also, as our Doggy Divas always say, please love your pets because they love you unconditionally. And please remember to adopt, foster, spay, neuter, and microchip. And as always, please have a great Diva week, everyone.
That's all for this episode of The Doggy Diva Show. To find out more, go to our website, thedoggydiva.com. Also, find us on our Facebook page, The Doggy Diva Show, and tell your fellow dog lovers about it. Don't miss Susan Marie, Miss Olive, and the Doggy Divas right here for the next episode. See you again soon.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.